What's up, people? Brewing Daddy here. We're going to be making some strawberry wine today. So what we got going on is we got our gallon fermenter bucket. We got a couple of bowls that we're going to put our strawberries. These are frozen strawberries that we picked up at Walmart. Recipe calls for 3.5 pounds. We're going to put 4 pounds. It'll be fine. Got a hydrometer. We got our bag that we're going to put our fruit in. We're going to throw that in our sanitizer. Got a potato masher that we're going to throw in our sanitizer, our airlock. And we got 2 spoons that we're going to use to crush our Camden tablets. Some measuring spoons that we're going to sanitize. Our spoon, stirring everything up, and then a measuring cup. And we're going to use the measuring cup because we're going to return our wine back into, or our must back into our container. So we're going to sanitize it as well. These 2 bowls, we've already washed them and they've already been sanitized. They're just air drying right now. So what we're going to do now is, while this stuff is soaking, we're going to go ahead and start preparing our strawberries to be mashed. So we'll go ahead and put them in these 2 bowls. Using 2 bowls just makes it a little bit easier. Want to get all the juice and everything out. We removed all of our items from our bucket to let them air dry. Our spoons, our masher, our measuring cup, our bag for the fruit, our measuring cup, spoons, and also our hydrometer. We do have our lid. We have a bigger bucket off to the side that we have our lid and our airlock in. And we'll pull those out before we close up the bucket fermenter. Alright, so right now what we're ready to do, we're going to start mashing some strawberries. So we're just going to take the masher, and it takes a little effort. It's going to take some time. But you should be able to get them very mushy. Just like mashing potatoes. I used this on my blueberry recipe and it worked pretty good, so wasn't sure how well a potato masher was going to work, but it did the job. I'll work on this one now. You just want to keep mashing until everything's busted up. Takes a little bit of time and effort. So once we get all of this mashed, we will put some filtered water in our bucket, probably about half a gallon roughly, and then we'll add in all of our sugar, dilute all of it up real good, and then we'll transfer the strawberry mixture into our bag over there. And then the bag will get put inside of our bucket. You can buy purees. I already can, but they cost a lot more than what you can get this frozen fruit for. Frozen fruit was only, I think, $5, $6. Not a whole lot. Puree is going to be more like 20, 25, maybe 30 plus shipping if you can't find it locally. Best option is fresh fruit, actually. But I opted for the frozen berries because they're already cleaned, and once you thaw them, they're kind of mushy to start with, so it's a lot easier to mush them up. This is about ready. Once you start hitting the bottom of the bowl and you don't feel any resistance, you know you're getting there. And that's what I'm feeling. I don't feel any resistance at the bottom. It's all pretty much going straight through the potato masher. Get to this one a couple more times just to make sure it feels good. Alright, looking good. So we're mashed up. Alright, so now we're going to put in about half a gallon of water in our bucket. This is filtered water. We filter this through our Brita. That should be good. And then we're going to measure out 4.5 cups of sugar. That's what our recipe calls for. It's a 2-cup measuring cup, so we'll need 2 of those. And then we're going to need a 1/2 cup. Here we are. Alright, so now we'll take our spoon and we'll go ahead and stir everything up here good. Just want to stir it until we don't really feel any more sugar in the bottom. That's feeling pretty good. Alright, so now we are going to transfer our strawberries. We're going to transfer those into our bag and then into our bucket. The best way I found to do this with these bowls is just to put the bowl inside of the bag like that and just pull it tight and let the lip of it sit inside and just dump it all down inside. And it usually works pretty good. We're going to do the same thing with the other one. It's a little bigger, so it's a little bit harder to do. But same technique, just cover the edge of the bowl, keep it tight, and then turn it up. Try to get all those juices in there. So what we want to do now is we need to tie this in a knot because we don't want any of that pulp coming out of the bag. So get a good knot in it. And then we're going to squeeze as much juice out of this as possible. So we want to get as much out, and this is going to be a little bit harder with strawberries. So our recipe, we're going to add all of our ingredients in. We're going to get this up to 1 gallon and add all our ingredients in, and then we have to wait 24 hours before we put our yeast in. So I'm just going to keep twisting this until I get as much juice out of it as possible. So we'll stop with that. We'll just set that back in our bowl. We're going to return that back in here. So what we want to do is we want to bring this up to 1 gallon. So just paying attention to our graduation on the side. Looks good there. Alright, we're going to stir it up one more time. And then we're going to take a sample of it, which we're going to return back into our fermenter. We'll use our measuring cup for that. So we'll just pull out a sample, fill up our tube here, and we just want to read the level and see where we are at. And I believe we're supposed to be at 1.085. We are sitting at very close, 1.084. It looks like close enough, I think. So let's pour this back in. I can smell the strawberries. And then we're going to just put our bag back in. Let's get all this juice in there. Smells good. And then we're going to start putting all of our ingredients in. Besides what we've already put in, which we've already put water and sugar in. So next is going to be all of our chemicals. Alright, so we're ready to put our ingredients in. We're going to be putting in 2 teaspoons of pectic enzyme. Get that in there first. And this helps to break down the fruit. And then next we're going to be putting in yeast nutrient, and we're going to be putting in 1 tablespoon of it actually. So we're going to need to reuse that spoon that we just threw off to the side. So 1 teaspoon of yeast nutrient. Acid blend, we're going to be putting in 1 teaspoon of acid blend. And then our tannin, we're only going to be putting in a quarter of a teaspoon of tannin. And then lastly, we're going to be putting in 1 of our cadmium tablets. So what we're going to do is we're going to crush that in between these 2 spoons. And then we'll just drop that in there. And then we're going to mix this all up. And lift out our bag to where we can get everything stirred up a little easier. I'm just going to stir everything in really good. You just want to make sure everything's stirred up good. You don't have any clumps of anything. Looks like we do have a clump of something there. And drop our bag back down in there. Doesn't hurt to stir this up every so often. while it's fermenting. It will help the process. But that's pretty much it. We're done for now. All we're going to do, we're going to wait 24 hours, then we're going to introduce our yeast into it, and then we're going to let it sit for a week, and then we'll come back and we'll be transferring this into the liquid part of it into our carboy. All right, well, we appreciate you joining us for the making of this strawberry wine. We're going to follow up this video with another video, and where we're going to transfer or rack it, the must, into our carboy, and then we'll probably do at least one more racking into a secondary carboy to clarify it some, and we'll be bottling it. We appreciate you joining us. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe. You'll be entered in our drawings automatically. Every month we're giving away merchandise. And share us if you don't mind. And also visit brewingdaddy.com. Peace out, people. We really appreciate you.